Later, at the same scene, O'Keefe's body was found.
Now, Sergeant, with reference to the box of other items, if you could remove what, if any, items you recovered and seized from 34 Fairview Road on February 4th. What's contained within that bag from February 4th?
Contained within the bag is a piece of red, hard plastic taillight cover.
The defense, meanwhile, arguing that blunt force trauma could be the result of a fight, and arguing that someone else was responsible for O'Keefe's death, and that the attempt to pin it on her was a cover-up.
The defense makes the argument that the injuries sustained by John O'Keefe are not consistent with that of being struck by a vehicle, especially a rear-end collision. They make the point that the injury is concentrated on his arm and that there are no bruisings or any kind of damage to that arm or even his body.
In court, the medical examiner saying the manner of death is undetermined.
Your internal examination notes also cite a tongue laceration on the right front of the victim's tongue. Do you recall that?
Yes.
And you'd agree that a tongue laceration can be also caused by blunt force trauma?
Correct.
And that could also include something like a punch to the victim's face or jaw.
That's a possibility. Jen McCabe testified for the prosecution that she woke up at 4:53 a.m. to a frantic call from O'Keefe's niece, with Karen Reed screaming in the background before she jumped on the phone.
And then she was saying, "Did I hit him? Could I have hit him?" And then she proceeded to say that she had a cracked taillight.
And this is while you're still in your home and you're in your bedroom, correct?
Correct.
And what was your response to that?
I thought she was honestly like just talking crazy. And then she said, "Oh my God, I left him there." Like she was extremely irrational.
In court, Reed's defense team calling 5 expert witnesses, including an accident reconstructionist.
Is the injury to the head that you saw consistent with having been struck by a vehicle at 24 miles per hour?
It is not, no, sir.
Retired medical examiner Dr. Frank Sheridan testified that O'Keefe's injuries didn't match the prosecution's claim that Reed hit him with her Lexus SUV.
If you're hit by a vehicle, whichever part of your body is hit, if it's a significant impact at all, you're going to get bruising, and we don't have any bruising here.
For the family and friends of John O'Keefe, it's been a grueling couple of years as they await this decision. And Karen Reed, her future now rests on the decision of the jury.
I think that this story captivated such a large audience because it has every element you can think of. It is a love story potentially gone wrong, the murder of a police officer, but also an investigation that was so sloppy it borders on incompetence, or was it intentional? And I think that and so many other elements to this make it something that you just have to watch.
Whenever news breaks.
We are here in Israel, a nation at war.
In Rolling Fork, this tornado tore through this town.
From Lewiston, Maine.
The scene of a horrific mass shooting.
From the scene of that deadly missile strike.
ABC News Live everywhere.
In Iceland, let's go.
On the 2024 campaign trail.
Here at 10 Downing Street.
Wherever the story is.
We're going to take you there.
You're streaming
ABC News Live.
ABC News Live.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live, streaming free everywhere.
There is a price to be paid every time a survivor shares their story. I will not be silenced.
Do you feel the church accepted abuse?
I wouldn't say accepted it as so much pretended it didn't exist.
Yep, that's him.
Yep.
Ready? Kira Phillips with ABC News. Does your church protect sexual predators?
The powerful new Impact by Nightline. Secrets of the 2x2 Church.
There's nothing pretty about hearing this.
Now streaming on Hulu.
They call him the beauty queen killer. He's targeting young women in malls.
The pickup is, if he listened to people, he wouldn't be so out of touch with voters. So, you know, we're talking about the bits that Keir Starmer landed on.
That was, yeah, and that was early on. I think it was the first applause. I mean, it all becomes a bit of a blur as you become punch drunk yourself with it all during it. But no, but he has. You're right. Starmer's toughened his and in Labour's position on migration and boats, and makes people like me feel very, very queasy. But of course, what Sunak can't answer, he keeps saying Rwanda, and Starmer, I think, quite reasonably made the point, you've called the election before any planes have left, because it won't stop the boats. They would still, because people could do the sums and realise you got 1 in 100 chance or whatever had been sent to Rwanda, so it wouldn't actually work. And the truth is,
take off, but it's not going to be an effective deterrent.
But neither of them really want to say it's not easy to solve, because you're saying you're going to become Prime Minister and you want answers to everything, when there is no easy answer to it. Then you've got to put it in the context of what the boats are compared to net migration, which is, what, 20-odd times higher?
We've got 2 more papers in, actually. The Times, first of all. Sunak rams home tax message in the final debate. Starmer brands the PM a liar in last head-to-head. So they're picking up on that one again, which is what was so successful for Sunak at the start. Can I bring in The Guardian before you speak as well?
Yeah, there's an interesting bit about gambling on that.
Should we come back to that in a minute? PM and Starmer clash over betting scandal in Tetchy final TV debate. So the first thing they were asked about, weren't they? The story, if we go back to the Times, which is that Sir Philip Davis is alleged to have bet £8,000 that he would lose his marginal seat. This is according to the Sun newspaper. Davis told the Sun he fully expected to lose in Shipley, which polls suggest that Labour is on course to win, but said it was nobody's business if he gambled on the result. We've also reached out to him, has to be said. So that is the allegation that came from the Sun newspaper originally.
Yeah, he's a former bookie. He's gambling all the time.
But the point is, this is where is it? It is not illegal.
Yeah.
Is it bad taste? Did Sir Keir Starmer jump too quickly when he took action against another Labour candidate for betting against himself? And actually, will that unravel many other candidates?
Well, the gambling Labour say they haven't been notified by anybody else by the Gambling Commission. I don't know if the Gambling Commission have notified Sunak and the Conservative Party about Philip Davies, but I think you have an idea of your canvass returns and what's happening on the ground, so you do have some inside information when you're placing these bets. If you're a candidate,
as inside information?
I think it'll leave a bad taste in many people's mouths on that.
But is it a little bit like saying, break a leg, when you don't really mean break a leg?
It feels dodgy. That's what it feels like, doesn't it? It feels,
my
feeling
is that it feels like poor taste, and the fact that there was a Labour candidate whose name was, not taken off the ballot paper, they weren't going to be standing for Labour at the general election in central Suffolk, where the Labour candidate quite clearly is not going to win that seat. I think that's very different. That was beneficial to the Conservatives in terms of the timing.
Try not to name the constituency, because I haven't got the constituency graphic ready.
But you did. You used a nice
general geographical location, so that I can get away with that one.
I think that when that broke, it was in some ways advantageous to the Conservatives, because they could say a plague on all of your houses, and they could wrap it in with the allegations that some of their senior members of staff are facing. But the fact now that it's come out that Philip Davies has bet £8,000 he will lose his marginal seat. This isn't a paper candidate.
Yeah.
Starmer had to get rid of his candidate because he made such a big fuss about the Tories and Sunak dithering.
OK. Need to move on. Do apologise. I know it's a big subject. We'll talk more about that, no doubt. Lots more still to come, including the Eye. New reporting suggesting the Kremlin is giving protection to hackers behind recent cyber attacks on the NHS. More details on that and more stories. Just in a moment.
I'm Mark Stone, and I'm Sky's US correspondent.
Is this the moment to reform gun laws? we aim to be the best and most trusted place for news. I'm playing devil's advocate. Mark Stone, Sky News in the United States.